This is mid-50s.
Yeah, there we go. Still holding it together. I love it.
Not bad, right?
It's inspiring. Here we go. Come on now. Right where you want to be in the workout, right here. Here we go. Yep, keep pulling on that. Yep, come on now. Give it all you got. There we go. Looking good. Nice. There you go.
Woo. Drop the weight.
Your way. Right when it hurts, do a little bit more. Here we go. Yep. I'll get a few more in there. Come on. Yep. There we go. Good work.
That's it. Good. Good. Yeah. There you go. Easy rep. Squeeze. Good. Beautiful. Nice. Yeah.
Whoa.
Nice set.
Woo.
Back to, now we'll do front pull downs.
I'll work for it. Yep. What's the hardest part for you nowadays? Is it just trying to stay on point with the diet? Because you probably love the training.
I love training, but I mean, the diet's really not hard because I'm so used to eating the way I've been eating my whole life. So
not a big deal.
Pretty much clean. Over the summer, I'm right now about 215, 216.
Yeah.
I got down to like 200 pounds just doing a lot of cardio.
Yeah.
And I got really lean, but I just felt too small.
That's what happens, right?
I would say maybe I should be a little lighter.
You still go up and down a little bit though?
Yeah. I try not to fluctuate too much in body weight.
It used to be like 250, right?
250. Well, the last show I said it was 240. I got up to like 255. I just don't think when you start getting a certain age, it's not healthy.
Oh no, it's not
Even
good.
if it's muscle,
right?
To be that heavy.
So best squat, you squatted around 800. What about bench press?
520 was my best bench.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
It's a big ass bench.
Yeah. I just wasn't good at deadlifts. I had like 650. I learned now, older, that you can use your legs.
Right.
But I was trying to like
stiff leg all.
Yeah, and all I needed to do was just because I'm so strong in legs, I could have done them.
Right.
I think I would have been much better. And now it's too late.
650 deadlift, still good. You'll notice some pretty good changes in your physique.
Yeah, like I said, I dieted down. You see, I could still get pretty lean and you know, ripped.
What about adding muscle? Can you bring up a muscle group anymore, or not really?
Not the ones with damage with the nerve, but
on the side.
Definitely legs.
Yeah.
My caps and my delt.
I just want to know where I'm heading, that's all.
No, you can still put on muscle.
I want to know what's coming my way.
You still can put muscle on your 50s.
Oh, there we go. Well, I got no excuse.
You got look at like I said, Michael Hearn, right?
He's leading the way.
Dexter Jackson.
Staying efforting.
Yeah. It's actually, if you look at bodybuilding, it's become an older sport.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go back and you go into the 90s, bodybuilders were in their 20s. I was retiring my late 20s. Arnold was in his late 20s. Was he 29, 28 when we retired?
Yeah.
Most pros are just becoming pro in their late 20s.
Takes a long time for them to gain all that
and
mass.
then they're pro into their mid 30s, and then almost like to their 40s.
Right.
Like you said, it takes a long time to put that much mass.
Like Cutler, Coleman.
Yeah, how old were they?
Yeah.
I think Phil is actually one of the younger Olympians of this era.
Right.
Because what is he like? He's 37, 30.
How old were you when you became pro?
I was 20.
Wow.
So I was 20. I was very young.
It's freaking young, yeah.
I went into my first Olympia just a hair off 22.
That's
I was
crazy.
very, very young.
Yeah, most people don't have like the muscle maturity
No.
to be able to pull that off.
I had dense muscle,
Yeah.
you know, when I was young.
I think it was from the heavy lifting because you
Heavy
liked
lifting,
going
because I
heavy.
was like doing real heavy, and then I started doing, with Lee Haney, I started refining my training, more supersets, drop sets. He taught me also to squeeze.
Right.
I mean, I'm better. I was younger now because of the injury. I sometimes have to pull a little
When
bit.
you used to lift the heavier weights, like benching over 500 pounds and squatting around 800, did you go heavy and then go lighter in the same workout?
I just stopped doing the heavy and just go into like high reps.
Right.
Like leg training was always, minimum reps were 15, but normally at a rep range of like 25. And a lot of top pros, to give you an example, like I
A lot of
train
people
with
don't want
Branch.
to do that many reps.
Well, Branch Warren does like 25, 30 reps.
Yeah.
His legs are
Yeah,
massive.
he's come here before too and
He's massive.
killed me.
He killed you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Me and him train, and you know, he's really strong.
Yeah, and he's super intense, yeah.
And he's super intense. And I train with him, and he gets mad because I'm like,
You like to keep going too?
yeah, I just go, and he's like, I said, if I was your age,
All right.
I'd kick your ass. He'd get all mad at me.
That's
Because
great.
I go,
You
because
might
I'm
be,
doing this at this age.
Yeah.
This was like going back 5, 6 years. I would push him. So one time on leg press, he just got done with a show, and he just wanted me to like get discouraged. So he put on like 14 plates on a leg
shit.
press, and he did 30 reps. So I went and I did it, and
my
he got
God.
so pissed that I was able to do it.
Yeah.
Because then I just pushed him. I said, is that all you got? Come on, what are you doing?
That's great. Probably did get him mad.
We're gonna do T-bar.
He's a madman.
So I had to slow down a little bit. I was training with him, and I do pretty heavy on laterals, but he has a loose training style.
Yeah, yeah.
So I try to keep up with him, and I pulled my shoulder. So I'm like, I do.
Yeah, I trained shoulders on him too, and he was just going crazy.
Like, right, he's doing
How many plates
80,
you want?
90s.
2, 3?
We'll start with 2.
Okay. Yeah, he came in here like a tornado.
It is. It's a good and bad thing. That's
Yeah. There you go. What was the hardest thing for you to bring up when you were a bodybuilder? What was the weak point you had to really
shoulders,
switch?
arms.
You
were
mentioned
probably-
taking like a year off of even just doing anything for legs, right?
for legs, yeah, because they just grew too easy.
Made you look too short?
They just made me look very squatty and narrow. People understand like bodybuilding is science. It's not just like lifting weights. It's
Right.
building body to the right symmetry and proportions. And some guys can't handle if say they're really good at training arms. They don't want to back off training arms because they like it. And they don't want to train their legs because they don't like it, but they have to like change over.
It's like Smokey, yeah, he just trains his arms.
He just trains his arms. Yeah, that's always been my hardest body part, of arms.
Yeah.
I mean, the biggest thing I was like 20 and that was hard.
Yeah.
And most of those pros just have those like Robbie Robinson or
Yeah.
it's great arms.
It's a old veteran technique. You notice as we get more weight on there, he'll talk a little bit more in between sets.
Yeah.
He'll start pulling out really old stories in a minute, watch.
That's it.
Here we go. I'll keep working. Here we go. at the way he's moving his elbows here. He's really pulling into his lats.
And I'm bending my knees so I don't hit my lower back as much. It's a staple because it works lower back, the lat insertion, you know, thickness.
Yep.
Okay, now we're going a little heavy here.
There we go. Watch all the way down into his belt. His lats go all the way down into his belt. You can see, even though the weight's heavier, he's still pulling the elbows back as much as he can. And he's got to use a little body English to get those elbows back, but it doesn't matter. You do whatever you got to do to move those elbows back as much as you can.
Yep, that's it. Yeah, yeah, yep. I'm gonna do a light set.
Crusher right there. Any certain amount of sets you would do?
I go by feel.
You just go.
Sometimes 3 sets. Normally, I do a minimum of 3. Sometimes average 3 to 4. Sometimes 5 if I feel good on an exercise.
Right.
But I like to just change around and go quick.
It's really good to note for those of you that are maybe a little bit newer to training, or if you have something specifically written, even if you're powerlifting and you're supposed to do 5 sets of 5, if you get to those 5 sets and you still feel really good, do another set. You're not gonna go to jail. You're not gonna go to hell. It's okay to do a little bit more. It's okay to do a little bit less too if it feels like crap, or if you started too heavy for the day. You know, live to lift another day.
It just, everything to me is instinctive when it comes to training. Like I said, I can have days that I can do a lot of sets. Some days I could just feel it. I'm getting a good pump, I'm getting a good sweat. It's actually started in here, it was cold in here, now I'm kind of hot. So, good. Squeeze it.
All good?
I think we're pretty good.
Yeah.
You think you did enough?
Yeah. Pretty wiped out. So again, it's great being here today with Rich Gaspari. Rich, tell them a little bit about yourself, where you live at these days, and talk about the transition a little bit from bodybuilding into being a businessman.
Well, I'm from New Jersey. I'm a Jersey boy. Been there practically my whole life. Moved to LA when I was 19 years old. Stayed till I was almost 21. Turned pro, living in Venice, the Valley. Once I turned pro.
20 years old, turned pro.
Yes, I moved back to New Jersey. And back then, most of the pros, because you're going back into right after the whole Arnold era and all that, everyone would live in California. We kind of changed that once, I turned pro. I moved back to Jersey. Lee Haney moved back to Georgia. Lee Labrada moved back to Texas. So pros didn't have to live in California. You could live anywhere because the gyms started getting better and better, around the world. But I stayed pro until my late 20s, and actually semi-retired, came back, and then when I was like 31, had a serious injury where I herniated a disc in my neck. And when I did that, basically my bodybuilding career was over, because the herniation caused atrophy into my right side, and I wanted to know what I was going to do. So at that time,
mess with you emotionally a lot? Was that a really tough time? It really
was a tough time, because
it's taken away from you.
I was under contract with Weider. I was making money with my body. I was traveling, doing exhibitions and seminars. That all stopped.
Right.
I had this gym on the side. It was my business. I was selling sports nutrition products, but other people's brands. Remember Nature's Best? That was an old school brand. I used to sell that. EAS. I was selling all these brands. And just like this light where my head is, I'm going to start my own brand. So again, when I did that, most people said I could never be a pro bodybuilder. They said I didn't have the genetics, I didn't have the ability to be pro, and I proved them wrong. I ended up being one of the top pros, in my era. Did the same thing when I got into starting my supplement company. They're like, you can never do it. You know, there's too many other companies, they have more money, they have more this, they have more that. So I was always a guy asking a lot of questions, and I think a lot of people are just afraid to ask questions. And what I did is I just started going to manufacturers, asking questions on how do I manufacture a product, what do I got to do, what's the pricing, how do I do this, how do I do that, and I started my company, and I learned along the way. I mean, what I learned is what, you know, where I went to school was the school of hard knocks. Everything I learned was through.
Hey, I think I graduated from the same place.
Everything was through, you know, on-hand experience, and a lot of stuff was really bad. I've been through really tough times. You know, I went personally bankrupt when I was after my injury because I wasn't making any money. I went business bankruptcy, so, and still always was able to come back. You know, people always see adversity and failures as a finishing point. I always see it as a challenge to come back. And I go through it my whole life. I'm still going through it where, you know, I had Gaspari at one of its peaks. Now the company's back in my hands, and I'm growing.
This is a major low for you being here at SuperTraining.
No, this is
overcoming this is going to be the hardest thing you ever did.
This is a great thing that you invited me here, and doing this is, you know, it's an honor to come here. You know,
Thank you so much.
I've seen the movie, and I've listened to your podcast, and it's great to be here and for you to invite me here. So it's great to be here, and like I said, I'm just going to grow Gaspari. You know, people that have the naysayers say I can't do it. I'm going to prove them wrong that I can.
I love it. Strength is never a weakness, weakness is never a strength. It was awesome getting in some back training here with Rich Gaspari. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Pleasure.